All right, everyone, it's time for an exciting episode of Styx at 7. I was going to do Styx at 6. It sort of fits in with the username here. I decided not to, and here's the reason why. Around 6 o'clock, you have dinner. I want to relax, have a little bit of time to myself. I figured if I started it at 7, it'd be easier. Also, people that are like on the West Coast, probably not even getting out of work until around now, or some of them are still at work and their day's grinding down and they're wishing that they were on YouTube. It just sort of makes sense. For those just joining, I will be attempting to join chat today. I have slowed it down in order to make sure that I can actually see what the hell is going on. We're going to see exactly how this works, though, because right now, I believe it is still buffering for some reason on the live page. I'll be muting that, probably pausing it too, just so I can pay attention to chat itself. I've slowed it down again so that you can only post one comment every 60 seconds. The reason for that is you usually get so many people on here. It's nuts. And no, I'm not going to be setting up super chat because I'm just not into that stuff. Like I was using streams before, there was no such thing as super chat. I don't want people to donate to be able to have more free speech than other people. I'm not interested in it. Rubs me the wrong way. I think it's the wrong idea, and it's not going to make you too much money anyway, let's face it. First on the docket tonight, we're going to talk about O.J. Simpson, because you saw, of course, again, I predicted correctly, he'd be paroled, but again, it wasn't a stretch to assume that he would be. It turned out that the thing about him getting caught with his pants down, literally speaking, was fake. And at that point, it was like, well, he's done literally nothing in the last half decade that could possibly be wrong. He's not in there for murder. I understand. He kills his girlfriend and Ron Goldman, allegedly. He gets off for that. Somehow still gets found guilty enough in civil court to have to pay them for the rest of his life. I think that's dumb. They shouldn't even do that. If someone's found not guilty, they should be completely not guilty. They shouldn't be civilly liable. Sorry, but having a different threshold of evidence, it doesn't make any sense. Like, oh, we're not going to throw you in prison. We're just going to make you a wage slave for the rest of your life. Every penny you make goes to other people, even though a jury of your peers found you not guilty. And I'm sorry, I don't boil it down to a racial issue. I saw people complaining about the parole, and they're like white. And they said, like, well, OJ, he got off because he was black and they were afraid of riots and stuff. I'm like, come on. He got off because there was no actual evidence of wrongdoing there. The police handled it so poorly, it didn't even make sense. They mislabeled evidence, left it out in the sun. They handed him an easy victory with the gloves, though, because they had him try it on, and his defense was smart enough to say, hey, he played football for a bunch of years. Doesn't he have like constant arthritic problems? His hands are like swollen like the Elephant Man. Just stop taking your arthritis meds, OJ. Those gloves will never fit. Like they barely fit you before because they're like slim fit gloves. And lo and behold, no matter how hard they try, they can't get it over the first knuckle. Well, right there, you had a slam dunk. So I'm not surprised that OJ was paroled. Yeah, I mean, he probably killed people. But what are you going to do? The legal system doesn't allow you to hold him for. You can't hold somebody for something they were found not guilty for and then keep him in jail forever for a lesser crime. Like he shouldn't have even spent 8 years in prison for armed robbery. He should have been in there for 2 or 3 years. In fact, he probably shouldn't have even served a day, honestly. I mean, he literally did nothing wrong. His claim was, hey, they stole my memorabilia. I was trying to get it back because I got to pay all these assholes that were suing me in the first place. I can kind of sympathize with the dude, to tell the truth. But that's actually minor news for the day. And the reason why is this. We got a whole slew of weird stuff going on. We've also got that dude, not Chesterfield. What the hell is his name from Linkin Park? You can tell me. The dude who really doesn't like Donald Trump. He killed himself. He actually hanged himself. He was like 41 years old. He was friends with that other dude who hanged himself from, what was it, Soundgarden and those other bands, sang Black Hole Sun. I can't even remember his name because I like the song, but I'm not a band person for the most part. I'll tell you this. I can remember a song if I like it. I can remember the lyrics and sing along to it. I know the title and everything, but I usually forget like what band is responsible for the actual, the actual work. I know it's probably terrible. And as for you people in chat right now, I've got it open and it's not freezing, so that's a good sign. I think this computer can handle things. Everything's, the plugins and everything are all up to date. Not like the old one. I think I didn't update them for 3 or 4 years. Is probably my fucking problem in the first place. But hold off for right now on me answering any comments. I slowed it down deliberately for anyone new in there because otherwise I'm going to get overrun. And the reason literally, you got 1,000 people, sometimes 2,000 people on a stream. Everybody's spamming. What the heck am I supposed to do? I can't see the actual comments I should be answering, like people's questions. It's like, I will get to a Q&A session. This is going to be a slightly brief live stream. It's not going to be as long as I intend to make them. What I need to do is get somebody else in a hangout and have a co-host. Because I need somebody, I can't just ramble the whole time. I want somebody else to crack jokes with. I want to have a good time. I want it to be funny. I want it to be like, the old wave of comedy radio, where you're just bitter at everything and you're constantly cracking politically incorrect jokes. That's what I see for this kind of slot. I know I have a huge audience here. A lot of people will join the stream. In fact, if I go to it, I wonder how many people are actually on it at the moment. Yeah, it's like 1,000 people on the stream already. Like, that's not too shabby. I haven't done one of these in a while. But yeah, you got to give me some time here because there's stuff to cover. There's more serious news though, and I wanted to say this here. Lauren Southern has been kicked off of Patreon. And someone should probably tweet out that I'm talking about her right now, because I'm going to deliver a little bit of a spiel to Lauren Southern. And here's what I've got to say. I stand with you and I support you. I tweeted out at her, I'm in support of you. I don't want to see anybody censored. I disagree with Lauren Southern on a lot of tokens, but she shouldn't be censored. And nor should anyone else. Like if H.A. Goodman, who's like a total leftist progressive, he's like totally caught up in the Bernie stuff. If somebody tried to kick him off some platform, you can be damn sure I would stand by him too. The alt media has to, and here's why. Alone, any specific alt media figure, no matter how large they may become, this includes like someone as large as PewDiePie, as we've seen. If they stand alone, they lose. JonTron loses. PewDiePie, he manages to break even because, 4chan and Reddit come to his aid. But largely, if you don't garner enough attention and get enough people on your side, you can get screwed, blued, tattooed, and abused, and nobody faces any repercussions for it. Here's, though, what needs to happen. People who supply interesting commentary, whether it's news, it's the current event side, the political analysis, it's more comedy, it's gaming, whatever it happens to be, social commentary. We all need to stick together. And that means helping one another when we get screwed by some other platform. Now, what I'm going to assume, I don't know necessarily that this is the case, because I can't get Wayback Machine to work. That site is as glitchy as MySpace during its demise. It's terrible. Archive.org is great. Archive.is works. The Wayback Machine itself, though, it's like so glitchy. It's like you can't even look at anything on it. And it's probably just like my fault. Like some script that I'm supposed to be running is getting blocked and I'm not seeing a notification on no script for it or something like that. I'm going to assume that's the case. So I can't actually see archives of her Patreon page. But my hunch is, based on the TOS on Patreon itself, that she posted some sort of exclusive content that breached their TOS or was construed as breaching it. Like a bunch of people who don't actually like her, they're like, hey, I'll donate $1 a month. I'm not actually going to keep the donation on there. I'm going to rescind it. I'm going to try to get her banned. So I'll go and I'll pretend to be a donor, and then I'll flag a bunch of content and leave, basically. And that's how you would conduct a Patreon raid. Because as far as I know, Patreon doesn't really care if you have edgy content on other platforms that you're linking to your Patreon. It's not even in their terms of service. They're at will, but they don't say specifically, well, if we find that you're putting your link on content that would be, edgy or insensitive, we're going to ban you from this. They don't do that. Sargon, great example. Sargon he's the roast master of Twitter. You don't want to screw with Sargon at all. And he uses the site, and he has no problems with the site. Nobody's doing anything about him. I use the site. Nobody's doing anything about me, and I believe that chat may have actually just lagged out here. No, now it's fine. Anyway, nobody else has a problem. It's just Lauren Southern gets kicked off. I'm going to assume that probably it was something she posted on Patreon. You got to realize somebody who has, like, they're part of the alt-right, they're like a civic nationalist. Like Lauren Southern, she's not like full, 1488, Hitler was the greatest mode. So she doesn't really say anything that's that edgy. She still gets kicked off. I'm going to assume somebody flagged her content on there. That's my assumption. What I want is very simple. People should be supporting her. They should support her on. If she's takes my advice, she's going to tweet at Patreon, like Mark Dice did with YouTube when his video got screwed over the other day, and say, why was my content deleted? Like, what specific reason is being given? I want my account back. Come on. Other people, they post something mildly offensive, they get a strike, they get a warning, they get their account back. Nobody cares about it. Why am I being treated differently? The ultimate thing should be, if enough of us stand together collectively, our audiences are so massive, we're talking millions of people, that nobody's going to try to screw us over unless there's a real damn good reason. And with a little bit of strategic thinking, we shouldn't get screwed over at all. That's why I don't post anything on my Patreon. Probably some of you have noticed this. I don't have exclusive videos. I don't have goals. I have a brief description that has nothing to do with my actual views other than I'm against censorship. That's the only thing you're going to see on my Patreon page, other than the number of patrons I have and the amount that I get per month. And I believe in disclosing that. People should know that. They have a right. Because if it gets high, somebody who would otherwise want to donate may think, well, they're making enough. I'll donate to somebody else. And that's fine with me. Like, I'm totally open about that fact. It doesn't bother me at all. So what I would say is to Lauren Southern, tweet at Patreon and say, like, what the hell, what's going on here? Because maybe you didn't do it. Maybe you didn't post anything. See, I don't know. I can't see an archive snapshot of your Patreon. So I don't know. Maybe you didn't post anything at all, and this is some weird thing that's gone on. You got raided. You need to combat it, though. You need to have all your followers try to combat it, too. Get them on Twitter. Get them on Facebook and YouTube. And tell Patreon you should reverse your decision. And if you do get your account back, which would be spectacular, take everything off of it, if anything, that could possibly be offensive. In fact, I wouldn't post anything on Patreon itself at all. I wouldn't even comment. Like, if somebody leaves a comment on my Patreon, I won't even respond to them. And I'm not doing that out of disrespect. I'm doing that out of caution. I may have other revenue streams, and some content creators do, and some don't. Those that don't, they tend to be more PC because they're more worried about losing the money. I have other revenue streams. I'm not too concerned about getting rated on Patreon, but I don't want the hassle. I don't want to have to go through something like that. So out of an abundance of caution, I just don't post anything there. So yeah, you should definitely, Chromite, I do see your content there regarding politically incorrect. I haven't posted a thread on politically incorrect in a very, very long time. There are other people that pretend to be me, essentially, that post there. I lurk there constantly. That doesn't mean I'm posting. If I post a thread about myself, you can be damn sure I identify myself 100% of the time. Anyone claiming to be me who hasn't posted a timestamp picture from my webcam with my background is not me. They might be a fan. They might be a shill. Whatever they are, they may be. They're not me. Not going to happen. So I'm going to go through here and I guess some Vermont stories, actually, to relate some really funny things that have happened recently in my life. I just thought I want to open up more to people. I want to talk about my personal life. Like, you're like my friends here. In all honesty, I don't really associate with people in the real world. I've met some people over the last month. I think I've met 4 people who recognize me from YouTube, and I'm like, I'll shake their hand. I find them, it's like, it's really cool. It's like, yeah, it's awesome. You recognize me from online. But I don't go out of my way to, like, socialize. I don't do the party scene or anything like that. It's just not my bag. But I'll look at comments still here. It still hasn't frozen. I'm actually, I find this wonderful. Like, this new computer, the Alienware, it handles it like a breeze without any lagging at all. Yeah. Oh, Joe's Corner. How did I end up going to Southern Texas? Some people know the story. I got married, actually, at the time. That was many years ago. I got married to a Mexican girl, actually, like literally from Mexico. It was a great time. I got to explore and eat Mexican food and drink margaritas and stuff. I had a great time. Like, when people want me to be a white nationalist, one of the reasons why I don't do that is I've already experienced, like, what basically amounts to a foreign culture. Most of these people were not citizens. They weren't even residents. They were on some like temporary visa or something that I was around. I found it great. I had a great time. I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't see some people. They're like, oh, there are cartels everywhere down there. I never saw any cartel members. All I saw was skateboarders. And like, I'm into the gothic subculture, and like, you know, the emo stuff is okay, I guess. You know, kind of similar but more whiny. That's like really prevalent down here. Up here, I'd never even seen somebody who was gothic up here. I go down there, goth is already 20 years outdated. And it seems like half the people I see, they're wearing all black and they're listening to like the 90s rock and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, you would think that it was a fusion of like Susie and the Banshees and Smash Mouth or something like that. That's what you would think it was down there in southern Texas. I had a great time. I never saw any problems. All I was doing was I got offered beers. It was wonderful. Yeah, too legit. Yeah, a lot of those people down there, like, you wouldn't even be able to tell them out of a crowd. Who cares? Some people still think I'm like an ethnic nationalist or something. I don't care about this issue. As long as somebody supports the rule of law of the United States and they're a good person, I can't be compelled to care. One of the things that causes me to spar with people is I have to be compelled to care about an issue. Otherwise, my normal status quo is I don't care. Like drugs, I don't care. Unless somebody is on drugs or drunk or something attacking me or my property, I don't care that they're on drugs or drunk. Even if they fly down the road drunk, okay, that might be a danger to people around them. Ultimately, they're probably going to be the one to die too. They don't want to wear a seatbelt. They go flying through their windshield. Just don't ask me to pay any tax money for their fucking medical bills. I don't care about these things. As far as like immigration, I'm not anti-immigrant. I have people like the people. Funny story, Rational Wiki. I sparred with them for weeks over my views, and I finally won them over on most of them because I'm like, look, you're saying I consider myself alt-right. I've never considered myself alt-right. I consider myself a monarchist libertarian. I'm a limited government dude. I don't really care about the immigration shit that's going on in this country. Yeah, we should deport criminals. I've been saying that since day one. What the hell is alt-right about that? Everybody supports it, including a lot of liberals. Anyone with sense, that is, which doesn't include like Hillary Clinton, apparently. And they wanted to say that I considered myself alt-right. I had to talk to them in the talk page. Like, what are you talking about? I had to go through a bulleted list of everything they got wrong, and they cleared most of it up. And it's like, okay, what's left? I don't really care about. They're trying to say, I was flirting with Nazism. Get this. This is the funniest part. Oh my God, you'll laugh your ass off. They were saying that I was flirting with like white supremacy because of a book review I made of Mein Kampf years ago that was critical and called Hitler an idiot. And so they took that as the mere fact that I had apparently read Mein Kampf was evidence that I was a Nazi. Like, yeah, if I read the Communist Manifesto and I leave a review saying Karl Marx is dumb, I don't get this shit. Like, that means I'm a communist or something like that. I'm Americana. It's America first. Nothing else really matters. And me first, most of all. I'm an individualist. I just want to be left alone. If someone's trying to abuse me, what the hell difference does it make what race they are or who they want to screw or what like political party they're a member of? I'm sorry. I just can't be compelled to care about these things. It doesn't matter to me. You know, off of that rant, I think I'll go into a couple of Vermont stories here really quickly, though, because some of this shit's really funny. One of them happened a few hours ago. So hear this. I was going out to Home Depot to get some cinder blocks because right now, unfortunately, and I hate to say this because it's bad, I had to kill one of the groundhogs that was lurking around on the property. I had no choice. It had destroyed my bean plants. It destroyed a bunch of my carrots. Thankfully, they've recovered now. I had no choice but to get rid of it. And I'm like, I'm not doing this again. I'm tired. I don't want to kill animals unless I'm eating them. And I'm not interested in eating some fucking gamey animal that's been burrowing around in a pile of shit in the backyard. It's just not going to happen. So I looked up online like ways to keep groundhogs out. And I'm like, oh, well, cinder blocks sound good. I can plow them into the ground around the fence. they're not going to bother to dig under it. Like, I can even put soil in the little holes in the cinder blocks and plant stuff that they find objectionable. So they're never going to bother, because they'd have to go through the root systems of stuff that like smells weird to them. So I said, that sounds like a good idea. Anyway, I went down to get my cinder blocks, but about halfway there was this weird out-of-stater, like in a minivan, stopped on the side of the road, blocking several vehicles. Someone from Massachusetts. To anyone from Massachusetts, I'm sorry, but your state has weird driving laws, because apparently this must be legal down there. Either that, or they come up here, they say, we're upper class, these Vermonters are like peasants, we don't have to obey their laws. This big ass minivan stops in the middle of their lane with cars behind them that are obviously pissed. And when I went past, one of them went flying up the road, because they're like, screw this. They stopped on the side of the road to look at a few cows. And these weren't even dairy cows, you know, the pretty ones that are like white with the black spots or black with the white spots. And they make milk, and they make cute little moo-moo sounds. And they got little bells on. Not even that. These were like the big beef cow sort of things. Like the ones that gets turned into steak. Now, the average out-of-stater, I guess they'd never seen a cow before. They're probably not even aware of this, that steak that they had last night that they paid like $40 for at one of our fine eating establishments probably came from one of those cows from that farm. Yeah, they probably ate Bessie. Now they're looking at Bessie's bereaved cousins or something like that. Oh, it was so funny. But I mean, this poor clueless person, they didn't know what was going on. They're like, stop there. They're not even taking pictures. Like, if you pull off to the side halfway out of the lane and you're like trying to take a picture, it's like nobody really cares. It's a secondary road. They're stopped in the middle of their lane, almost leaning out into my lane, actually, a little bit. Like they're riding the line, the inner line, not even the white line on the side. They're not even taking pictures. There's just this weirdo hanging out the window looking at the cows. You've never seen one before? And in the direction they were coming. If they're coming where I assume they're coming from like the Massachusetts area, up that road and then back down the road that leads to my house, they already passed a dairy farm in that direction. And if they came from the other side, they certainly passed a dairy farm. If they were coming south from, like, they were in vacation Burlington, if they came north, they went through the Bennington area. Yeah, they definitely passed 5 or 6 farms in that direction. Vermont's half farm anyway. Why are you stopped there? It's just a little pasture. There are 5, 6 cows in it. It can't be that amusing to you. But apparently it was. They were amused enough to stop with cars behind them and inconvenience them. Weird. Anyway, there's another story. It's even funnier. So get this. I think our cats are in league with the devil or something, because we keep seeing like toads and snakes and weird creatures that have no fear of them. I'm not even joking here. First story is there's a toad on the property. I don't know where it lives. I don't know if it has any toadkin or anything. It's a big fat toad too. Like it can't fit through a chicken wire fence. I have seen this toad 4 times pestering the cats in their cat enclosure, literally coming in the fence to dick around with them. My cat Cleopatra, who's old and doesn't give a shit anyway, this toad came up to her and just sat there. She looked at it, sort of kind of pawed at it, and then just sat there staring at it transfixed. This toad managed to wander into the breezeway a few nights ago and was sitting in there like it was my best friend in the world, like it belonged in the breezeway. And it tried to scamper behind the bench when I tried to shoo it out. And I've seen it since then too. And other people are, yeah, I've seen the toad around. It was hanging out in the cat enclosure. It's like, what is your fucking problem invading the property? You're going to get yourself killed. Apparently, though, the cats won't touch it. I don't know whether they're afraid of the toad. It's not that big. I mean, it's big enough. So get this. It had to squeeze its way through the fence that's around the cat enclosure. It has to deliberately try to get into the cat enclosure. And so far, it's done so 4 or 5 times. And it's apparently done it a few more times when I wasn't even here. So it's obsessed. Then we have this milk snake. And milk snakes are a little bit uncommon in this part of the county. Like in parts of the state, they're really common. And they're really cute too. Like they eat rats and moles and stuff. So, you know, more power to it. I hope it stays around. I hope it has kids. There's this little milk snake. Back when it was a tiny derp and would still shake its tail like a rattlesnake to ward off anything that was near it. It was under the deck. And our cat Athena tried to pull it out, beat it up or something. I had to save it, toss it over the fence, and it wiggled off. The other night, though, like literally last night, it was somehow in the vent in the living room. I don't know how it got there. It didn't come in through the breezeway. There's no other logical way that it could possibly come in. Somehow, though, it followed the cats inside or something, because it's possessed and it really wants to hang out with them. It's either suicidal or it's a shapeshifter or something like that. And this is the sort of stuff that I have to deal with. Weird stuff constantly. And it was funny to me. I mean, snakes are good. I just wish it would stay outside. It needs to kill some of the moles that are on the property. There are moles around here. There's some mice. Go take care of them. You can go get an easy meal. Like, they're going to wander under the breezeway deck too. Go have a feast. It's going to be great. I'll go back to comments here for a minute because got that off my chest. It's an important issue. Slow mode is still on, but it does look like chat keeps intermittently freezing. Like, it's not lagging my browser out or anything like that. Maybe if I close a bunch of these tabs, I'll have better luck. Actually, let me try that and then refresh the page. I think I'm still live. Yeah, it'd be funny if I wasn't even recording right now. No, I'm still broadcasting. Yeah, I'll look at the comments. As far as turning on Super Chat, though, I'll tell you this. I won't ever do that. Number one, it sort of confuses me. Number two, I can remember time before a Super Chat and I support it. Number three, it just sounds weird. It's like, okay, you donated money, so I'll read out your comment on the air or something like that. I know, I think it's, who does that? Blonde and Chris, when they do their streams, they have Super Chat. And that's all well and good. I just choose a different tack. Like, if someone wants to support me, they can buy a book and support me on Patreon. Apparently they can't support Lauren Southern. Again, for anyone joining the stream, she got kicked off Patreon. She probably doesn't deserve it, and you should probably tweet at Patreon that this has happened. Send him an email and say, well, what gives? Come on. Give her, just give her a strike on her. Give her a warning and let her back on so she can make some money. It's not like she doesn't have enough fans, and Patreon's turning away free money by doing that. I don't understand it. Yeah. YouTube takes 30% of Super Chat from Ilza Jean Williams. Yeah, that doesn't matter. They can take 99% of it or 1%. I still wouldn't use it. And I know that Lauren Southern put up her PayPal.me link. See, mine, it shows my real name. I wish it would just show my username. So I would use it otherwise, maybe. Not that I care, because it's already on all my books, but it's just a little bit weird. I'd rather be like Styx. I want to be Styx when I'm online. When I'm in front of a computer, God damn it, I'm Styx. I'm not Tarl. It's like my alter ego. Here I actually get to talk to people. But yeah, Major Woody, yeah, I'm a Slayer fan. Slayer's all right. Yeah. But I'm looking at chat here where it's been massively slowed down to one post every 60 seconds, and it's still overloaded. It's still moving so fast I can barely see it. At least it's not lagging it out, though. I have a feeling even with Alienware, even with as much processing power as I have right now, it would probably screw up if I didn't limit the chat. It sucks that I have to do that. You got so many people. Like, how many people are on the stream right now? Like, there's 2,000 people watching right now. It's insane. It's pretty good. It's pretty good considering like a year ago it would have been 10 people or something like that. Gotta look. My name, no, Imarskineel or Imarskineel. No, my name is not Carl. It's Tarl, T-A-R-L. That's my actual name. Yeah, some people think it's a pen name. Or maybe it is my pen name. Maybe my real name's Tyler. How do you know? I like screwing with people a little bit on that. I just find it funny. But yeah, we really need to stand together as an alt media. So we've got OJ is paroled. I support it. Southern gets kicked off of Patreon. I don't support that. I think it's terrible. They shouldn't be kicking people off there just because they have unpopular views. But again, it's probably the result of something posted on Patreon. It's probably not the result of, oh, well, you're an insensitive YouTuber. Now, YouTube handles its own terms of service. Again, my advice to her, I hope she sees this. I should probably make a one-off, like a standalone video on the subject. Never post anything on Patreon or any other site where you're raising money. Don't give it the time of day. Don't do exclusive videos. Don't do an elaborate description talking about how you stand for national sovereignty or anything like that, because it's just it's too unpopular among some circles of people. And that advice would extend to the left. H.A. Goodman or something like that. Don't do exclusive videos. You might say something that triggers somebody. People are easily offended these days. It's like I don't know what's wrong with my generation. I am sure that all of you fellow millennials feel the same way. I don't know what's wrong with people in my age demographic. People who are like half of our age are less easily offended than we are. And it's terrible, and it shouldn't be that way. Like, we should be the edgiest generation. We were raised with like that early wave, true Wild West standalone internet. Like before social media, when you were looking up the encyclopedia of shit or something like that, or using some chat room that wasn't even moderated. And you'd have all sorts of weirdos on there asking you how old you are. I can remember those days. We were born in that sort of weird stuff. We shouldn't be so sensitive. No. I'm going to look through the comments for a little bit here and just, again, I've slowed it down, but they're still coming in pretty fast. So I can't even read them all, in honesty. And I say that as somebody who like edits for a living. I still can't read that quickly. It's impossible. Yeah, make a video about Core Game. Corgam 3. This should be his new meme. He does his own thing. He's a professional commenter like Bobby Jones is. And by the way, to people, I know Bobby Jones has been mostly absent, although I think he left a few comments the other day. And he's the Baba Booey of this channel or something like that. I actually like the dude. He's one of the few people I'd probably trust my password to, honestly. You know, as someone who gets targeted by him constantly. I've known him for so many years, almost like he's family or something like that. Oh, Eric Cartman, there's a thread on 4chan about me. Yeah, I wasn't aware of that. Here, I've got to refresh this again. Jesus, it's hard because I keep having to refresh the actual tab or something like that. There's yeah, I don't see a thread about me. It doesn't matter though. That's the thing. Oh yeah, no. Oh yeah, wonderful title to the thread too. Yeah. Styx hasn't been relevant since the election when he created a poll echo chamber. Yeah. I'm going to leave the thread alone. I don't have time to do that. Plus, if I open any other tabs, my fear is that it's going to lag something out here. It's difficult. My connection, as far as the computer, is fine. Everything else is fine, but the connection itself, because of our Comcast monopoly, isn't honestly isn't the greatest. So we have some problems. Oh yeah, sad little puppy on the subject of MREs. I'll do MREs, but it's been so ungodly hot lately, I don't feel like eating large amounts of food that have been left in a bag for extended periods of time and then rehydrated or cooked in a hydrogen-generating packet or something like that. I'm going to have to wait until it's cooler weather. Because like the Australian ones, a lot of it's like lamb and stuff. It's like stew and things. That's the sort of thing you eat when it's chillier. Like maybe around September or October. For those of you who live in like a tropical climate or something, you're like, oh, September and October are warm. It's like 80 degrees out. Now, that's how it is here right now. And by that time of year, we've already gotten a few at least light frosts. Like we don't have what you call summer. We have what you call kind of warmish winter weather. And then we have what you call bitter Siberia. That's how Vermont is. Yeah. To TT, no, it's more than 77 degrees. Trust me, right now in Rutland, it's probably 87 degrees, actually. And just because you don't trust everything you see online. But I'll look through here and see what people are saying. And keep in mind, I'm not dumb enough to read anything out that could be against the terms of service, because again, I'm too smart for that. Yeah, Styx, I'm from Peru. We have 2 ex-presidents in jail since last week. I was not aware of that. I have, for the last few days, I've sort of lapsed on the Latin America news coverage. It doesn't surprise me, though. There's a lot of corruption in Latin America. Venezuela, case number 1. Chile, slipping back into socialism. Brazil, it doesn't matter whether it's the dedicated socialists or the half-assed socialists who hold power. They're all corrupt. to the point at which Colombia, which is like cocaine capital, is the most stable nation in South America. Now that's saying something. Panama seems stable compared to some of these nations now. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, South Texas near 100 degrees. Here's the thing, though. I don't know if you've been in both climates. New England is humid. So if it's 80 degrees here with near 100% humidity, it feels a lot hotter than 100 or even 110 in southern Texas where there's zero humidity. There was never any humidity when I was in southern Texas. It's like, mostly desert or steppe. It's like semi-arid. It's kind of desert. There's grass and people have lawns and stuff. Some of them is Aeroscape. I think that's more environmentally friendly. But ultimately, it's basically just limited grasslands, a few trees. It's like the African savanna or something. So if it's 100 degrees there, you don't really notice it unless you're in direct sun with it beating down on you. If you're in the shade, it doesn't feel that hot. Up here, though, if it were 100 degrees up here, people would die. Lots of them. Like half the population would keel over, especially since they're elderly. They need their AC. Yeah, and we've got problems with Lyme disease in this state as well. As far as I know, I don't think Texas has really Lyme disease cases. We've got it bad. We've also got what's called triple E. You got to be careful with mosquitoes up here. Down there, you get Zika occasionally, or maybe chikungunya or something. Up here, you get triple E, your brain swells and you die. And every year, there are a couple of cases of it. So nobody wants to go without the repellent. I do, because I'm just like, well, I'm going to sit by the computer. I'm not even going to go outside. And I'll go out when it's sunny, so the mosquitoes are like in the woods, so I don't have to deal with them. Because I'd rather deal with being hot and sweaty and like dripping sweat, because it's just sort of how I am. I'd rather deal with that than go out and get triple E and like keel over. Not my idea of fun. As far as Lyme disease, trust me, I check for ticks every time I come inside. It's kind of necessary up here. Yeah. Yeah, I know there's Lyme disease in Texas, but it's less common. We're like I think Connecticut, if I remember correctly, has the most. I think Vermont's like number 2. It's nuts. You'd think some of these ticks would die off. It's like in a warm state. You don't have any winter to kill them. Here, you'd think it drops 10 below 0. You'd think that'd kill a few of them off. Apparently, they don't even care. I've seen ticks. I think last year I saw a tick in midwinter on the snow. Like it was like on the snow on the windowsill or something, if I remember. I know I saw one in the winter. And it was crazy. Yeah, ticks make you vegan. Yeah, there's some disease some of them carry that makes you like allergic to steak or something like that. It's like, oh, come on. Yeah, I think that was bioengineered by the people against tasty animals or something like that. Yeah. I'm still trying to look through these comments. There's still, I don't know. I'm going to have to delay it like 90 seconds, I think, next time. Yeah, and I see. Timothy Smith, please do not shitpost about the joy of Satan on the live stream. I don't have a problem with the joy of Satan, but I've gotten a lot of that spam throughout the years. And I've asked him nicely to please refrain from that. I asked him in video form, just ask me first. If you want to post the links, or if I'm talking about it, all you got to do is ask me and I'm game. Otherwise, just don't post it. Yeah, otherwise, I tend to ban people from the channel for it. It's like one of those few things that'll actually give, you have to go pretty far to get banned from the comment area on my videos. You may have noticed this, that it tends to devolve into absolute chaos. Yeah. Favorite, live streams. Gaggle Thorax, who is going to be my co-host for the live stream before, I will not mention because I don't know if this individual feels jilted because I didn't do the live stream, so I won't mention that. I also won't mention who I've got in mind as a potential co-host. It's got to be somebody funny though. It's more, it needs to be more humor related than necessarily intelligent commentary, because I feel like anybody who talks about politics, who has any significant presence at all, already is intelligent about the issue. So that's not really even a consideration. It also doesn't matter if they're like left or right or whatever. I'm not necessarily looking for that in particular. Yeah. Chris Marie, or Chris Mary. What do you think Trump will do about Mueller crossing the red line? He won't do anything. He crossed the red line. There's nothing to be done about it. He can't really fire him because then he gets shafted. Trump would run the risk of impeachment if he decided to fire the special counsel. That's one of the few things he could do that could actually get him kicked out of office. Because at that point, a lot of the Republicans would want to save face. Right now, they're already on the fence. Like tumor-ridden McCain would love to vote to impeach Donald Trump. I assure you, he would love that. But right now, he doesn't have a legit reason to give to his constituents for doing something like that. So that's really his problem. Anyway, this for some reason, it keeps lagging here. And I'm trying to cause it to stop doing that. Like if I hide, just a moment here, if I hide chat and then show it again, will that refresh it? No, it won't. I literally have to refresh the page over and over. And just a moment here, everybody. Let me check this tab, close everything else out. Yeah, okay. Yeah, the live events page was still open for some odd reason. I don't know why I kept that open. My microphone was in the way. LBJ said 200 years. What brand of coffee do you drink? Any coffee? Whatever's on sale. Is it caffeinated? I'll drink it. It better not be decaf, though. One time I wandered into some decaf coffee thinking it wasn't decaf. I was like, what the hell am I drinking? It tasted like cardboard. Oh, it's decaf. Oh, well, thanks. Yeah, that's not the point of drinking coffee. I'm not drinking it for the flavor. Yeah, it's okay, but that's not the primary attraction to why I'm using it in the first place. I think we should ban decaf coffee because it doesn't even taste like coffee. Just water down your actual coffee if you're worried about having heart palpitations. You know, it'll weed out the weak, I guess, in society. Just joking, but you know, you get it. Yeah. Would you consider debating Athena wins? No, I don't do the debate thing. I honestly don't. I put my own views out there. People agree or disagree, you know, on everything or on some things. Everyone else puts their views out. Why would I want to debate somebody? It's not necessary. It's a waste of time. I would rather have a friendly discussion with somebody on their channel or on mine. And that can attract more people than a debate, unless it's like if you get a really sort of high-class debate with people who are already really popular, it tends to draw a lot of folks. I'm not sure that I quite rise to that level, though. And yeah, I'm at like the YouTube silver level. Some of these people have millions of subscribers. They're like way ahead of where I am. Oh, what's the point? But I'll look through these comments for a brief time. How long have I been recording anyway? It doesn't show me on the live page. It only shows me on the broadcast page. Actually, it's not even showing me there this time. That's really weird. It used to. It's just showing me the title and the number of people who are currently watching. 2,100 people. Not bad. But for all of those who are saying that that you like my work, I do support you. Yeah, Styx versus Lacey. At this point, I don't know if we would disagree on much. Some people think I have a problem with, like, you know, sexual degeneracy and stuff. No, I don't. I don't care about that either. Yeah, Spoon Clank United. I should probably make like a joke video about that, since that seems to be on everyone's minds. Spoons and 10.2. So that makes sense. And I'm looking, for those who aren't aware, I'm looking at the comments now, and even though it's massively slowed down, it's moving so quickly I can barely get a glance in edgewise here. Yeah. Oh, that's a good Clank t-shirts. That's a good thing for me to bring up on a live stream where presumably a lot of people here are like core fans. Here's something that needs to be said, and just calm down and you got to listen to this. I am not the one marketing any t-shirts, pins, badges, or other paraphernalia in my name. Somebody on Twitter's told me the other, I think 3 days ago. They said, "Oh, I love the shirt that you put out. It's really nice." I said, "What are you talking about?" Somebody has been marketing shirts with my logo on them, and with "That's About All, Peace Out" as a logo. I didn't market those. I didn't design them. I don't get a penny from them. I have nothing to do with them. Now, I think this is the same person that took the liberty of registering Styx, Hex, and Hammer 666 on Gab and on Minds, as well as on Twitter, and started amalgamating my content and spitting it out. Now, to this person, if you're listening, I don't have a problem with you amalgamating my content. I don't even really care if you're selling these shirts. But some people think that they're official merchandise, that I'm the one selling them. I assure you that that will never happen. If I were to sell anything, the only thing I would sell is pins, because those are small, they're cheap, and, you know, kind of cool. You can collect them or whatever. Otherwise, though, it's all crowdfunding and books. I don't sell merchandise. I'm not interested in selling Styx t-shirts and mugs and stuff. Somebody else wants to do that, that's fine. But if you're pretending to be me even for a moment, that's lawsuit mode. You better cut it out. You're going to have a real problem. And you don't understand, these sites do respond to subpoenas. I can't stop you from using the username that I use here on another site. I can't stop you from preempting me and registering it. But I can stop you from selling merchandise that is explicitly listed to my brand. I can definitely stop you from doing that. I don't appreciate it. I don't have a problem with it. I think I know who it is. I don't have a problem with this person, but why would you do that? Why? I told you you could. I think I was asked months and months before. I was like, oh, you should sell shirts. And I'm like, well, no, I'm not going to do that. If someone else can sell shirts with like just the logo on them. And I think he got into his mind that the way to do that was to use my username on these other sites. Why wouldn't you have taken into consideration the possibility that I wanted to register them for myself or was holding them over or something like that? I'm not miffed about it, but you got to cut that out, dude. It's just not a good look. And it doesn't even really matter. Like what would it matter if I had Styx, Hex, and Hammer 666 on like Twitter and Gab and stuff instead of Styx 666 official? People are still going to know it's me because it's linked back to this page. But then some people, some newcomer that's just looking me up for the first time, they think you're the official page. So they think that those shirts are licensed or something. They're not licensed. I didn't give any specific permission for those specific variants to be sold. I'm not getting any money from them. If you have I mean, I don't know how much they're making. I could be making bank off of these. I wouldn't even know. But I'm going to contact these sites and get the merchandise taken down potentially. I mean, you got to take the that's about all peace out part off of it. If you're just selling a shirt, it's like, oh, Styx X number 666 shirt, and it has just like the Ouroboros. Okay, the old one, because I don't use it anymore on most platforms. Okay, that's fine. Anything beyond that, though, I didn't give any permission for that to be sold. And I've got an income now. I can hire a lawyer if I need to fire off a subpoena. Yeah, I don't smell litigation. I hope that it won't come to that. Hopefully he's watching the stream right now. He just deletes these things. I mean, it's childish. I didn't give any specific permission for you to put the slogan that's most commonly associated. It'd be like if you sold like commemorative spoons with a picture of my face on them or something. The only place that you're going to find that specific logo is it is my design, and it's on my books and a couple of the other channels that I haven't modernized the logo on. It's the only place on the internet you're going to find them as far as the progenitor sites. It was first on my YouTube. I designed it myself. It's my logo. It's a de facto copyright. I'm the only one who has the right to be using it in that manner. If someone wants to slap it on a page or a modification like just a newer Ouroboros, again, I can't stop them. It wouldn't be copyrighted under that idea. But if you're selling things that are associated with me and that use a logo that is the same as the one I use and use a catchphrase that I use in every video, any court in the land is going to say, yeah, it's infringing upon that person's rights. They're going to give me a cut of that money that you've made at the very least, or tell you to stop. So I would appreciate it if they would stop. I mean, because this person also retweets other people that I don't even know anything about. How do I know they're not going to retweet a bunch of Nazi stuff or a bunch of communists or something? I didn't want to raise the issue. I told him, hey, I think months ago on Twitter, could you take this particular account down? And one went down. and they acted like I think I was an asshole because I asked them to do that. I'm like, you don't understand. I don't care if it's a parody account, that's fine, but your account's pretending to be me. Someone tried to register Tarl Warwick on Twitter too, and I already filed a complaint about that. They actually responded to me and then deleted the response like I wouldn't notice it. Like probably someone leaned over their shoulder and said, hey, he's going to see that and he's going to report your account. It's like, why would you do that, dude? You're supposedly one of my fans. Yeah, it's Styx Fakenhammer because it's not really me. To Geo Rose, when can we call in? As soon as I can figure out a call-in line. For all of you out there, again, I'll put out the call once more. If you would like to help me set up something where people can call me live on air to do questions and comment stuff, I would love to set something like that up. You need to tell me, message me on YouTube, tell me what equipment I need, what programs I need. But I'm not using Discord. I'm not using any net-only site to do this because they're not going to be reliable. I can't even figure Discord out. People have tried to tell me before, like I think Chris told me. Others have messaged me like, oh, you do this and make a Discord chat. I don't know how to use that. I'm a Skyper. I can't even figure out new Skype. I had to revert to the classic look. I'm almost 30. I'm not a teenager anymore. I can't figure this shit out. I don't know anything about it. I'm like old wave of web. I used ICQ. Yeah, 1-800 Styx Hex or something like that. Nat Social Go. I don't know why it would be a bad idea to take call-ins. I can screen them beforehand, or I can have somebody else. And if I'm going to have somebody else on the show, I can easily do that. Yeah, TeamSpeak. Okay, I'll look into that. But yeah, I know you can use Skype for that sort of call, but some people don't have any idea how to use Skype. A lot of people don't. And Google Voice, I'm aware of that too. But how would I patch it in so it can be heard on the broadcast without me recording it on my microphone? I would need to get some sort of program, I assume, to mix all the sound. I don't know anything about this stuff. I probably should have researched it years ago, but I was sort of slacking off at the time playing Grand Theft Auto. Napster before it was cool. I was past the Napster generation. I was the give your computer AIDS to get a song LimeWire generation. Yeah. As for getting people on for like discussions, I'd be willing to get anybody on here for the most part. Yeah, I know I can pause my comments with the scroll button. I'm aware of that. Yeah, because I didn't like that. Yeah, on LimeWire, I was trying to find like Radio Werewolf's old music on there. I found some of it, but got so many viruses, it wasn't even worth it at the time. Yeah, that's real old school. Yeah. Yeah, Firefox rendering slow with YouTube, maybe, but I'm using Pale Moon. It's like a stripped down version of Firefox, and it's actually way better. Like it doesn't hang, it doesn't have any lag. It still accepts like AdBlock Plus. NoScript now does work with it. Everyone should switch to Pale Moon because Firefox is no longer stable. It's not the Firefox that I know and love and hasn't been for months. I don't know what they're doing. Everything about it is glitchy. It's like Internet Explorer towards the end when they just didn't care anymore because they were going to release Edge. So I'm assuming that Firefox is trying to sabotage itself to release something new. Yeah. To Jacob Jimenez, no, this is not the first stream. I've done like 7 or 8 live shows before. Actually, technically a few extras because I think I did live shows after the debates, but I didn't collate them into the right playlist because I don't want to go back and take the time to do that. Who cares about my debate reaction 6-7 months after the fact? But no, this is the first episode of a regular show, Styx at 7. I don't know how many times a week I'm going to do this. And I'm probably running up over an hour now. But I'm imagining it as being like an hour and a half, 2 hour show a couple times a week or something. Like, you know, what day of the week? I don't even know what day of the week it is. It's Thursday. I'm thinking like Friday nights and Saturday nights, because that's when most people are actually using the internet. And by 7, everyone on the East Coast, like they've settled in to drink their beer and go on YouTube or something. So I figure that's when it would be best. It's like the prime slot. I want to compete with like primetime cable news, because I don't want any of you to watch cable. I care about you too much. I don't want you to be affected by propaganda. So I'm going to help wean you off of that. You can watch me instead, and I'll have a co-host at some point, call-ins. You can call in, and you can yank my chain or something. You know, tell me that I like other men or something that you think will offend me. Some people still do that. I get messages all the time with weird stuff like that. I keep getting people on 4chan claiming that I'm bisexual. I should probably address that too, since there's the thread open. That was a joke, by the way, from years ago when I was battling fundamentalist Christians. When that was my primary enemy, it just made sense to make that claim because I figured it'd piss him off. And it did. Oh, and you see, somebody was pissed off enough to archive it, so... Yeah, like 5 years ago. They were pissed off enough to find that funny. And Sentimental Corp. Oh, that's a good one. I took that stuff down. I've refocused my channel on myself, basically. I've refocused my channel and taken most of the other content down. Like all the old documentaries are gone. The Charles Manson music bullcrap is gone. I don't even care about it anymore. The only holdout is the Radio Werewolf music. I'm thinking about moving that to one of my other channels. And the reason why is I've gotten explicit permission to have it there from, you know, the obvious source. So that's okay. I just don't, do I want to run the risk of a copyright strike, not be able to stream or make, you know, long uploads for a while? It's basically my my business description at this point. So it'd be kind of suicidal to keep that material around. Wouldn't make sense. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's the other claim that was made by some of the shills on 4chan, was that I was like part Asian. I'm actually not. I'm supposedly part Abenaki, although there's no proof of it. I think my eyes look squintier because my glasses, like my prescription, is really, really bad. So it makes them look smaller than they actually are. But no, as far as I know, I'm not like part Chinese or anything like that. It wouldn't bother me, though. Be all good. Yeah, people keep talking to me about Linux or Linux or however you say it. I don't even care. I'm not going to use it. Not unless Microsoft really screws the pooch. If they do, then yeah. I'll do what I have to. Yeah. I'm not beating Steven Crowder. Steven Crowder's hilarious. Did you see his part there with Zhank? That's still like the funniest thing that I've ever seen in my life. Oh my God. When he dressed like a Zhank Juger there from the Young Turks and showed up at his panel. And he walks up claiming to be the real Zhank and just goes crazy and starts like, you know, wiping his guts and everything. Oh my God. It was hilarious. It was in such bad taste. It made him look so bad to people who would be like fence sitters, but it was so funny that it was worth it. A million times worth it. It was one of the best things that I've ever seen on social media. It was genius. A lot of people in the comments are like, I love you, dude, but no, this just didn't. Oh, come on. It was funny. It was supposed to be weird. It was great. Yeah. You know, trying to have a reasonable discussion. I'm the real Zhank over here. Oh my God. That was great. Yeah, and watching the reaction on his face, like he couldn't believe what was happening. This is bullshit. I can't even do it. I'm laughing too hard. Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah, Louder with Crowder is a funny show. And it's not just that one. The good part about it is like every episode is funny. Like it's sort of like watching MTV generation style stuff back when it was edgy. Like when it was still edgy, when it was still funny or something like that. I didn't remember all that when I was younger. You know, you have Jackass on and all this stuff, and certainly the earlier wave of like the Howard Stern show. and it was really edgy, and like Beavis and Butthead and stuff like that. And that was the humor. Now we've gotten to the point where a lot of people get offended at stuff that like it should have been declared tame by now, but it's still somehow it's even edgier now when people do that because they get this weird feeling, oh, we need to be polite online. Like it's a problem if they're not. I don't get it. I don't get how people are so easily offended at things. Like, you're an adult. You're not a little kid anymore. Some of you people are old. Some of these people who pretend to be offended, they're like in their 60s and 70s. Like, do you just want to be like the mad old church ladies that get around to gossip or something like that? No. Yeah, the key is not to give a fuck. Exactly. Exactly. People shouldn't be so worked up over things. I don't understand it. Yeah, it's Candy. It's not just the liberals, though. It's the right wing, too, sometimes. They do the same thing. They used to do this all the time in the Obama days. Something would be on there that was vaguely offensive to their like Christian sensibilities. They'd pretend that the Gestapo was coming to force him out of the country. It's like Bill O'Reilly before he got exposed as the alleged pervert that he probably is. What did he do every single year? Oh, the war on Christmas. Somebody said happy holidays to me the other day. I was so offended. I was red in the face. I was more red than Santa Claus's nose after a line of Coke or something like that. That was nuts. See, my demographic, I'm 29. So I'm in the late 20s, early 30s sort of demographic. And it's all good. By the way, to people worried about getting older, like you're younger than that, I don't notice any change. I feel the same as I did when I was 15. I've abused my body. I have totally abused this body. I have done as many drugs as I could. I drank as much as I could. I smoked a lot, inactivity or too much activity, getting a divorce, all that stuff. Yeah, getting injured, getting hit by lightning, overdosing. I feel fine. Yeah. Actually, I probably feel better than I did when I was a teenager. I was actually a low energy teenager. I was really like low key. Now I'm like bouncing all around all the time. It's like being back in early childhood when I was like severe ADHD mode. It's like I recovered from a long spell of not feeling quite right. Like I wasn't my usual trolling self or something. It's weird. Yeah, I got hit by lightning through a screen door. One time I was closing the window of the screen door as a thunderstorm was just approaching. And I don't know if it struck the side of the building or really close to it, but that current went right through my body. And I credit the fact that I was barefoot and in a puddle at the time because the rain was already streaming in. So I think what happened is the current went in my hands, traveled along the wet outside of my body mostly and into the puddle below me back out onto the lawn because there's like a little gap under the door because it's not exactly the tightest screen door you can get. And I think the current mostly avoided going through my actual cells enough to spare me, brain damage or something. I think that's what happened. But like, it was like being blessed by Thor or something. So I don't generally go outside during lightning storms anymore. When I was younger, I probably wouldn't have cared. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to hold up a metal rod in the air. That'll be funny. Now I'm like, I'll just stay indoors. But yeah, I was like in mild shock. I was all sweaty and my fingers and toes were numb and weird shit like that. And it was actually a little scary because like for a moment I blacked out and I wasn't aware what was going on. Then I came to and I was like, 3 or 4 yards from where I had been, clutching the side of the stairs, like the little banister thing, you could call it. And I was like, whoa, I think I just got like hit by lightning or something. And I was all freaked out. And it was weird. Yeah, it's the weirdest feeling I ever had because it was like I didn't exist for a second. I guess that current going through my brain stopped my neurons from functioning for a second or two. But yeah, despite all that stuff going on in my life, despite all the ice cream that I've eaten, I think I'm doing all right. Yeah, I've never done Kratom. Because isn't that the one that takes you off of like opiate withdrawals? But I never used any opiates. I took a Vicodin once illicitly like 10 years ago and didn't do anything. So I was like, why? Why do people do this stuff? Yeah, I get 3 scoops of ice cream, sometimes 10.2. As for the laconics of cult, this is also important for anyone that's interested in the Ingersoll works. I do have the file. Somebody, the person though that had messaged me said that there might be another scan of it forthcoming, and I haven't received that yet. So there are still, as far as I know, pages missing. If there are pages missing, I can't edit the work. I mean, I'm not going to put out, if there's apparently a second copy. The one that was scanned was in the Library of Manitoba. In Canada. There is another copy, I believe, in the US. And if somebody can find it and scan it or photograph every page, or at least the ones that are missing in the PDF that's already there, then I can edit the work. Otherwise, I can't, because I can't release a book incomplete unless there's no other choice. I have to know if those pages are in the other copy that's in a library. That's what I have to know. Because otherwise, I'm putting out a substandard product. My goal in my books is to release inexpensive physical copies that currently are not available in anything other than facsimile form for people that don't want to pay for a hardcover or an old edition. Right now, it's like with 1900. The only other edition that I know of is the original edition. So you're spending hundreds of dollars on this little booklet getting the actual first edition, or you're getting mine, and you're paying like, what, $5.50 or something for one that's brand new and will presumably last longer in non-standardized conditions. You know, for a work that old, if you want to properly preserve it, you're going to have to take at least a few precautions. You know, dust it off and keep it away from the mites and things like that. That's a collector's object. For somebody who just wants to read the work and you don't want it online, you get a new edition. It's like, you know, 1/100th the cost or something. Yeah, can't nix the Styx. Yeah, I haven't read through all of the Kabbalion yet. I did just get a copy of the Ars Goetia, like an actual hardcover copy. One of the many intercompeting editions. What I needed to know was what kind of format would look nice. Like, I'm comparing format. Because sometimes when you change it from online to paperback, like you're looking at it on your screen, you're getting the source materials, you're compiling it, you're doing your illustrations or whatever. Then you look at it as a book, it looks a little different. It's like, oh, well, this is kind of grainy and that doesn't make sense. This formatting change needs to be made. For such an important work as the Lesser Keys of Solomon, especially the Ars Goetia component, which is the most popular component, I didn't want to take any chances whatsoever. Oh, yeah, what time is it? It's 8:11 here. Actually, that reminds me that in a minute here, I have to let you all go so I can RuneScape. Got to do my divine locations and stuff. And again, no, I will not do debates with anybody. I'm not interested in debating. I'm only interested in making my own content. Yeah. Candy says, stop paying taxes. Yeah, that's not a good idea. T-bone. Yeah, I don't actually have my cup with a spoon in it right now. I only have the plastic cup and there's no spoon. So closest I can do is like, I got scissors. A scissors clank, I guess, this time. RuneScape is fine. But yeah, I'm going to end the live stream now. It was fun hanging out. I will be doing these more frequently. I've finally sort of got things right, I think, to do this. And I'm compiling more like news information. Like, instead of making standalone videos for everything, since YouTube is kind of moving to a streaming format in some ways, and it's more stream friendly now with everything, it's obvious that they're encouraging that. It's more worth the time to do. So I'll be doing, essentially, I may do a video show. If I get somebody else on a Hangout, you know, you could have the opposing video, some program, hatch it together or something with the audio, and then it would be all set. We can do call-ins and everything else. So that's about all. Peace out.